Hi, everyone. Welcome to GTA Behind GTRP. So I don't even know the name of my fucking panel. Um, Thank you all for coming to Stream Queen Con 3. I am in for prayers. We have Elix, Trashly, Little Firestone, SP, and Sapphire. My cat is distracting me, so I'm sorry about that. So today we're gonna be talking about all kinds of things regarding GTRP. So we're gonna start with introductions. I am in for prayers. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me at in for prayers on Twitch and everywhere else. I currently play on Bluebird RP. It's an Australian-based RP server. It is not a whitelisted server. It's kind of open for everyone, but you can get whitelisted. And I play Say Your Prayers and Inya Wei, who used to be Inya Prayers, but she got married. Elix, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everyone. I am Elix. My pronouns in drag are strictly she, her. Out of drag, any pronouns fly. I play on Adonia. Do I have any Adonia girlies in the chat? I wanna hear you make some noise. And if you're some of the
Okay.
plum girlies, I want to see the roach. Um, I play 3 characters on Adonia. My first character is Dora La Torta, which is pretty much me. When it comes to voice, it's pretty much a self-insert. She runs drugs, guns, and she owns Bahama Mamas. Then I play Sasha Kant. She is an immigrant from Russia, and she enjoys to protect Dora La Torta and also is in police department. And then you have Pippa Gillespie. She is from London, and she really enjoys torturing Dora and stealing all her money and drugs and, running her over with her Cadillac and hitting reverse. And that's me.
Thank you. Trashly.
Hi, I'm Drag Trashly. Also play on Adonia. It's an LGBTQ server. You do have to apply, but it's not like super restrictive. We love it. I play mostly as Vanilla Madison, no association with the unicorn. And sometimes I do play with her Scamella mother. Well, I guess it's her aunt at this point, but, yeah.
Perf. Thank you. Little Firestone.
Okay, I'm Little Firestone, and my pronoun is she, her, and my character's name, I've got two. I've got Tash, and I have another one named Himiko. I played for about a year on Bluebird RP, same servers in for, and now
She knows me as Inya, so she almost said
yeah,
Inya.
I was
You
about
can
to
call
call
me
you
Inya.
Inya.
It's fine. I'll probably call you Tash like 5 times in this panel. I'll be like,
Yeah.
Tash, Tash, Tash.
Yeah, we're pretty much everyone sure calls me Tash. And yeah, so my main character is Tash, and I played Cop Voice on Bluebird, which is Australian server, and then now I predominantly play in a USA server, which is a whitelisted server called Echo RP. And I also play a cup over there. So yeah, that's me.
Perf. Thank you. SB.
Hi, besties. I am SB Simone. Pronouns, honestly, any, to be honest, just be respectful because if you're not, I might have to curse you out. I don't really have like a home server. I hop around a lot. I go to Adonia, I go to other places. Recently, I've been in somewhere called Project High Rise.
Traveling
I
Queen.
yeah, I'm a traveler. I play 3 different people. My main person is Desiree, as you can see the gorge icon there. And
Mhm.
the other 2 people I play is Anal Eve Keaton, and I also play Essentia La Aqua. Anal Eve Keaton is like very stereotypical white woman, but the twist is she's 1/16 black, and she will not let the world forget that. And Essentia La Aqua is Anal Eve's daughter, who is 132th black. Don't ask me how I got the math, but
Can't.
we did it. And I just go around and I like really screwing with people the entire time. So
And
that's
that's
me.
on ancestry.com.
This stream is actually sponsored by Ancestry. Thank you, SB, for hooking up that sponsor with us today. Appreciate it. Everyone go check out ancestry.com. Anyway. Sapphire. My cat just looked
Ooh,
at me. She was like, "What, bitch?"
Yeah, I know. Every time you say your cat's name, I'm like, what, bitch?
I'm like, Sapphire, stop eating my food. You're like, bitch, I didn't fucking touch your nuggets.
Not yet. Oh,
I'll share with you.
oh, thank you. All right.
Mm.
What was the assignment? My my name or
Your name, pronouns, your character, where you play, where you
right? Cool,
RP
cool.
at,
Okay.
what city you're in. Sorry, we gotta be in character,
Yeah.
right?
Oh,
Ooh,
my name is Sapphire E Glamour. And I use any pronouns. Just it depends on what tone you use. And I got my start in Adonia. I don't play really in Adonia anymore. I kind of have been. I would call Insidious RP my home right now. Love that place. What character do I play? Uh-oh.
so glad you asked.
So glad you asked. I have a cast of characters that I play. And I'm sure people hate me for it. So let's run through the Rolodex of characters. First, let's start with the character who is RIP gone. Got permad, which by the way means got deleted. The character file was deleted.
Oh,
She is the Sea Witch, or you can call me Oceana. She's gone. RIP. Love her. Or is she? Who knows? I have been recently playing a girl named Jane Doe. She may or may not be related to the story of Oceana. We're figuring that out. Find out in RP. I also
My
play
favorite
Colby.
is find out in RP.
Find out in RP.
We talked about that actually in my chat. Find out in RP.
I love
Sometimes I
that.
want to say it in RP, and I was like, I can't say this. So I'm like, we'll find out.
Find out soon. uh,
Be continued.
yeah, I also play Colby Clark. He's a musician. Love him. He's essentially my music outlet. I also play. I also play Mel Mudd's future attorney at law. Ugh.
yes.
Love her. And I also play one other character or a couple other characters, but I'll mention one more. The Wicked Witch. Who's very much like the Wicked Witch. Oh. Very chaotic, very watch out. Anyway, yeah.
The way I
Love
thought you were
that.
gonna bring up a character that I've had beef with that I didn't know was you or something, because I was like just waiting.
Same. I
was
was
waiting.
shaking. My
Right?
asshole
I'm
is
just waiting for
sweating.
someone because you were.
It may be me. You
You
never
never
know.
know. We'll find out in RP.
Find out in RP or
Find out in
don't.
RP. We need to make a poll of how many times we're going to say that in this panel today. Find out in RP. Perfect. Thank you all for the introductions. Yeah, love all the characters. I don't know how you all sometimes can keep up with so many characters because I have two, and I play Inya, who is my main girl. She was my side bitch, my side piece, and then I just fell in love with just the baddie she is. She doesn't deal with shit, and she talks like this. And she's always like, "Hi, I'm Inya. I just don't really care what's going on." My favorite phrase is to always be like, "That's the most exciting thing to happen to me today." And it was just something like very dramatic or like not even dramatic. And then I have Saya, who's very like upbeat, very opposite of Inya. I made her first. She was my first queen. So like she's very like, oh my God, hi everyone. How's it going? I'm Saya. I'm always like, you know. So I kind of like going into the backstories here. I will go into one character. I had Saya be my main, but then I kind of just fell in love with Inya and I kind of worked on a backstory with her, where I had her kind of have like tragic backstory of how she had her sister had killed her boyfriend and all these things, and she wanted to go out and get revenge, and that's why she came into the city that she was, and then she ended up like kind of healing and then becoming in a crime organization that we have in the server, and it's been really fun. I really wanted to like, oh my God, sorry, my cat just like did something and I'm like, girl, what are you doing? She just wants to be a part of this panel and I understand that, it's just not your time, please. Hello, I love you. So I just kind of like wanted to do something different. When I got into RP very recently in March, and I wanted to do something. I didn't want to just play a person. I didn't want to play me. I mean, I think we all have a piece of ourselves in our characters. I'm sure we can all agree to that. But I wanted to do something different. And so I wanted to create a character that was really harsh and really hard to get along with. And I think it also creates a challenging RP for you, but for other people. And I think that can be really cool. Like for me, I'm not in a whitelisted server, so you get a really interesting melting pot of like um, individuals that are there for RP and some people that are not. And it's good and bad. I will get into that. But that's kind of how I did like my backstory. I just really wanted something to have, I wanted my character to be a character. I wanted there to be a backstory and there to be emotions behind it. I don't want to just play someone that just works at a supermarket or something. I really wanted her to just be powered and fueled by something and to explain why she's so the way that she is, because she's just a bitch. I mean, Tash has met her. Tash's character is like in love with my girl. She always is like dying over her. I always talk about crushing watermelons, and Tash is like, because Tash is also her character. I'm sure she'll get into, is very, like uh aggressive and just doesn't deal with shit, but then she like just melts to Enya. It's just really fun to see that. But yeah, that's how I did the backstory. Elix, do you want to talk about one of your girls?
Yes, I'll talk about my original Dora la Torta, owner of Bahama Mamas. She comes from the cartel in Mexico. Her parents ran it. Then they were mysteriously murdered. She doesn't know this, but it was Pippa Gillespie, her cousin from London, who murdered her parents,
Oh my
thinking she would get a share of the pot upon death. But Dora received everything. She now distributes drugs and guns in her club, Bahama Mamas. She is kind of in a way like me, not with guns and drugs, of course. I don't do those things, but she is very confrontational. If you do something to her, she does it back to you tenfold. She's not a bitch. No, you know what? She is a bitch, but a bitch with reason. She's not just going to be mean to you for no reason. Like, there's got to be a reason behind it. And again, everything you do to her comes back to you tenfold. She hates the police with a burning passion. In order to apply to Bahama Mamas, one of the requirements is you have to send a picture of a dead cop to apply. And I have to say this for anyone that's just coming in here in GTA. This is in GTA roleplay. This is not real life. That's pretty much her in a nutshell. And just high level, the other two characters, Pippa Gillespie is her cousin that hates her, and Sasha Kant is Russian, and that's also her cousin, but she protects her.
I love that. I so touching base on the like this is in GTA. Sometimes I talk about my GTA like life with people at work or like out in public, and I'm like, I just fucking shot a bitch, and I'll like explain all these things, and I was like, I realize that I am in a public place, and I can't just talk about that I'm like selling drugs and slinging guns and killing people without being
Yes.
like, they're playing GTA. Sorry.
Yeah. Imagine someone sees your GTA DMs, it's over.
Oh, some of the shit that I've said
FBI.
or done in GTA is like wild. We have like a story of like human and stuff. It's been really exciting. And some of the stuff that happens is like I just got pipe bombed. It's like we can't say that like anywhere else, but we say it's wild. And then we talk about
Yes.
kidnapping people all the time. Anyway, it's a whole thing. um, Trashly, I almost called you Trash again. Trash, would you like to speak?
Yes. So I started GTA 5, or sorry, GTA RP because I think it was like a charity stream redemption or something that I would do GTA RP. And I had played GTA 5 uh I did the entire story mode. And one of the things that Opa did a lot of videos that were edited for me for YouTube. And one of the things was I would go into the Vanilla Madison and I would say, "Oh, there's Vanilla, my favorite bartender." And so when I was applying for servers, my character was Vanilla Madison. She was a bartender. She moved to a new city and she wanted, she was looking for work as a bartender. And so that's kind of what I went with. Um, then I got kind of got bored with Vanilla for a little bit, so she went missing. And her mother showed up, Zuzana. And Susanna's a scam artist. She is a scam artist. She has scammed so many people. She's she didn't have a ticket to an event, so she just pretended to start working there. She started pretending to work at a pot shop she found that was open and like stole money from some guy that thought he was
This
buying
bitch has done
pot.
some really silly shit on her. I'm sorry.
I love that.
But she said she was Vanilla's mother. Anyway, uh yeah, so I've pretty much always played on Adonia, but before that I did start on like a straight server as Vanilla. And so Vanilla does have a history of a couple other servers. And those weren't as great of experiences. So
Yes, and we'll definitely talk about our server. I've only been on 2, but my server that I'm on is a inexperienced, so we definitely want to touch base on that. Thank you, Trashly. Little Firestone.
Uh, funny thing with my how I started it. I was actually going through a pretty rough time in my life when I started joining GTA RP. A friend of mine just tapped me on the shoulder, was like, "Oh, so get out of your head, come check this out." And I was like, "What the hell is RP?" And he brought me into actual Bluebird, the server, and then I knew nothing. I didn't even read the rules. I think I'm very lucky not to get banned for the first 2 months that I was in there. The first thing I did, brought one of my best friends, my like actual real life best friends in, and we took a motorbike and we jumped off a cliff with it. And I got told one of my other friends was like, "You're gonna get banned for this." And I said, "No, it's fine." I sent him a real life footage of me jumping off on the downhill biking. And I said, "See, I do this in real life, so it's realistic." So it was a bit of a steep learning curve, but that's why I joined. I needed to get my head away from certain stuff, and basically I joined it from there. My character creation sort of developed, I guess, over time. Like over the year, everything about my character developed slowly. I even added the parts where I got adopted into my character's backstory. So it originally started that my character was like living with a single mum. Like Tash was living with a single mum in Western Australia, and she was a meth addict, recovering meth addict, where her dad was like a sergeant of Victoria Police. So one time she eventually just got sick of it. She went on a rehab, moved to Melbourne, and basically wanted to join the police there, and just join her dad essentially. But that kind of got worked into the story a bit later down the track because essentially I got adopted by someone. So my character's backstory essentially developed from the start. It was essentially moving there and I'll just let it sort of create itself. I would say probably Tash is a little bit of my other characters, like my Cream character, Himiko, is a bit different, but I would say Tash is a bit of an extension of me, but I guess a bit like wilder. And I try to, role play that character to, I guess, let people enjoy their time in there, have like some form of memory that they take away from role play when they walk away from it. Do I need to cover anything else?
No, I think I feel like that was pretty good, and I really like that you touched base on like kind of how you got into the like server and RP. So I also know for me, I wanted to get into RP like probably right before the dear stop, you make me cry. Before the Panini hit. I think it was like right before the Panini hit that someone was like, "You'd be really good at RP," and I was like, I was playing Diablo 2, and I was like, why do you think that I would be good at that? And then I remember playing like DBD and like kind of role playing with Michael Myers, Choke Daddy, and I was like, ooh, anyway. So like, I don't know. I end up getting into RP because of Annie Crevice, who played Misty Crevice in
Oh
Bluebird.
yeah.
So that was kind of my like intro to that. And yeah, it's been I know like we talked before, Little Firestone, about like how RP is, kind of changed our life. And that's something I think we should all touch base on as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for sharing that. SB.
Hi. So I'm answering how I got into RP, right? And like the backstory. So yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I saw somebody streaming GTA RP. I didn't really know what it was. And then I flew into my first city after that, and I got banned after like 30 seconds. I said one word, and it was like, "What is that deep voice? You gotta go." So then after that, it's messed up, y'all. But after that, I kind of made it my mission to just join different servers to see how fast I could get banned for being queer. It was kind of a game. So I didn't take it serious for a long time. Most of the time, it was literally just me showing up and talking to be like, okay, this one was 5 minutes. I think my record was 1 minute and 26 seconds. I had literally just finished customizing my character. I met my first person. It was an admin, and they said, "Oh no, you gotta go."
Oh
Um,
Lord.
but I got deep into it around February this year. I went on a leave of absence from work. I was at home all day long. I ain't had nothing to do. And I was like, let's try it out. And it stuck. But backstory wise, Desiree is just me. Like it's not really it's RP there, of course, but like backstory is it's me. But Anal Ease Keaton actually is a product of Adonia, primarily because I've learned, for me at least, a Black queer person, especially in these queer spaces where it is kind of West Hollywood like. That's the best way to put it. You got a lot of white gays, and then you got a sprinkle of color every now and then. I often heard AAVE, which is African American Vernacular English, for those who don't know, being used so incorrectly and just in the wrong context that after a while I was like, at first I was getting tired of it. But then I was like, it is tiring, but you know what? You can't fight them, join them. So I made Annalise to join the crowd so that way I too could feel my fantasy of being a white gay. Annalise is a lesbian. And just throwing around AAVE in the worst way possible that didn't make sense to, fit in. But that's her backstory.
Love that. Thank you. My server, sometimes it's so hard to get people to get banned on it. So like the fact that you got banned in like 2 minutes is just so wild to me. Like straight up. Cause sometimes I've had an experience on my server and I do love my server, but it is needs some work, queen. Anyway, I just can't believe you would get banned in 2 minutes. That's just so wild.
I will say that these servers were absolutely not marketed towards queer people. As
Mhm.
a full warning, these were absolutely like the cesspools of
Yeah,
5M. And I would purposely go to them because it gave me a good laugh.
I love that. I love a good laugh. And just being openly queer, just being like, you know what, I'm here and I don't give about it. Sorry, I'm trying not to cuss all the time because I am like a sailor, but I don't want Dola
Fuck.
screaming at me in the DMs. Wait,
Yeah, don't curse, not on this channel.
This is a Christian stream. I need to
Chris, yes,
understand that.
yes. Dola, did you said please swear? Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, that was really not that much of a thing, but I didn't want to just start like rambling as I always do. Anyway, Sapphire.
Uh, okay. So I got into GTA roleplay. Well, let's not talk timeline because timeline's like year wise. I don't know what year we're currently in. So,
Yeah.
I was watching some YouTubers that I really enjoy, and they were playing on. I don't mention them, because this isn't about them. But
It's about you right now.
yeah, they were all playing on the server, and I was like, "Ooh, I think I excel at this kind of thing, like role playing as a character. I do theater. I make characters all the time." Um, and so I figured out how to do the 5M thing because that's kind of hard to do if you don't know anything about
It's a
um
setup.
and yeah, it takes a moment. It's hard.
Yeah.
But I joined the server and I personally had a good time. The problem was I knew that there was a streamer and I'm nosy. So I went back and watched the VOD and the chat was chatting. The chat was chatting about my character and I was like, I'm out. The
Mm.
it was distasteful. In the kindest way to put that, distasteful. So that kind of put me off of GTA roleplay, but then I found Adonia. That was my first server that I flew into, and I was like, I need to figure out a character. And this character is actually the sort of starting point for all the other characters that I play now, which is kind of interesting because I don't play this character as much. But I started with Colby Clark because as much as I wanted a way to role play, I also wanted a way to like get some sort of creative some sort of my creative outlet out that I don't normally tap into doing dragon theater. So I created Colby, who is a musician. He's from Seattle. He initially moved to Adonia to uh, work as a barista, and then maybe write some songs and work his way into the record label. Which he did. He did that. He slayed. He slayed. And then sort of the actual origin of me creating more characters was so I used to live in the basement of my family's house, and when I was playing GTA it was like midnight to like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Like I was hooked. But there came a time, and there came like a special like 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. that I couldn't talk loudly. So I would just opt out of speaking in RP. And I had to find a way to like excuse why this person who likes to sing isn't talking. Um, so I started
That's a
saying
challenge.
it's a challenge. So I started saying, "Sea Witch stole my voice," or
I
like
love that.
sign languaging that. And then I was like, "Wait, kind of iconic." It kind of blew up into the entire server surrounding Colby and doing a seance to get the Sea Witch off of him, and
Love
and
that.
I took that as a moment to create the Sea Witch and bring her into the city. Instead of getting rid of her, they actually just summoned her, allowed her to manifest. Um, and it's been kind of fun for me to figure out like why was she like, as a theater person and as someone who like likes to delve into character development. And it's kind of weird to like develop a character after the creation of them. um but it was interesting for me to delve into why she why she needed Colby's voice, and why she needed to take that from him. And it actually hasn't been revealed yet. um and so I'm not going to say anything. And actually, uh I have been so close recently to people finding out the actual backstory of Oceana. We're kind of working on that now. That's kind of my current storyline. Um, so yeah, and I also find it's like an interesting balance of like doing storyline and then actually just like kind of chilling and RPing. Because like
Yes, yeah.
it's not like main character syndrome of like I'm the main character, you're all just background characters. I like the aspect of like we're all living in this world together and we're all our own main characters. It's an ensemble piece.
That is such an important piece in like RP too, because I know like um for I feel like us queens too, we can really relate to like wanting to feel like the main bitch. We're hot and we're like sexy and all these things. But the other thing too is like when you're RPing, it's so easy. And I've caught myself like very early on in RP, which we are meant to make those mistakes. That's how we learn. That's what's so fun about RP is learning, is like knowing like the main character syndrome thing. And this is something I talked about recently because there's something I've been kind of experiencing in my server is people like really trying to push their like dialogue or trying to push things and like push their way into RP scenarios and things like that, and kind of treating it like they are the main character and one's a side piece. And I think that's just so important to remember when you are RPing that it is a like contribution from all parties, or it can be, right? Like we can really make a situation or make a story by including other people, and the fact that you were like able to also include another character and more people into that, I think that is so cool. And I think it's just so important when you're doing RP is to consider that you are not the main character. You are not just the main character. Everyone's the main character, right? We're all playing our people, but we need to not treat people like side characters. There was something else that you touched base on, and I can't remember what it was, but it was so good. You had such some really good points, but that one was like so good. And I'm really glad that you mentioned that. I wish I remember what it was now. But yeah, it's super important to know that. And that sounds like a really good tip for people wanting to get into RP is to just be mindful, you know. And part of like RP is having challenges and stuff. I know Nicole is mentioning like the creative outlet. That is something I do want to touch base on as well. I think what we were talking about is something I was gonna mention was no, I don't remember. I've lost it. It's fine. It's over now.
Okay.
But kind of like, does anyone feel like RP kind of helped them? I went through a really depressional time this year. This year's probably been like one of the worst years I've had. Not because just bad things had happened, just because all the years prior things have just gone real. SB, we gotta talk. Things have been just real awful. Um, and I also lost my cat this year. That was just really heartbreaking compared to like all the things that happened. And so I went through like a piece where like I actually almost lost my job and had to take a break. And RP really, I think, kept me going and not being in that like depressional hole because I had something that I could work on and I had that creative outlet, especially since I stopped doing drag for a little bit because I moved and then I just wasn't in a good place. But SB, you seem like you really
Okay, so for me, when I find myself spending more than 3 or 4 hours on GTA RP, I literally reach out to my therapist because I'm like, okay, this is a telltale sign for me that I am avoiding something in my regular life because I see it as an escape, but you got to find that balance of it of like, okay, how can I escape this without just putting all of my problems on the shelf in my personal life? So whenever I start diving in like really deep, I'm like, girl, Karsha, sis, I don't know when the next time you're available, but please
we
squeeze me
need to
in.
talk.
We need to talk. I don't even know what we need to talk about right now, but I've just spent 12 hours on GTA. And she knows, she's like, yeah, you can come in tomorrow. So I go. But I think it's kind of a thing of it 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 gives you dopamine. It makes you happy. So whenever I go there, I'm like, oh, baby, this is Desiree. This is not SB. This is not Charlie. I don't have to worry about what's going on out here. I just go up in here, shoot people, and do all the other shit
In
that I like to do.
GTA.
In GTA, of course. I just go into GTA and shoot people, do all this stuff, and I'm good. And then once I log out, then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I gotta have a life outside of this. So I definitely understand like how it can be an escape, but also finding that balance in between having somewhere where you can like escape and cope and dealing with the issues that you got in your regular life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did anyone else want to touch base on this quickly before we go on to the next question?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind adding something onto that as
Okay.
well. Yeah, I guess like I was in a similar situation when I joined in. I kind of joined in to get away from something. It was good and bad in a way. It started really good originally, where I think I finally found a balance. But originally, it started really good because I completely used it to switch off everything I had to deal with. It got me away from that moment of getting hit with so much emotions at the time because I think I just cracked. I had just everything in my life go wrong, and that environment and the friends I've made, that most of them are like my IRL friends now. We just chill in Discord and play different games and stuff sometimes. And even like that got me away from stuff, but it became a point that I almost lost my job through RP. I just could not get away from it. I was sitting there about 10, 12 hours a day playing, missing my work. I think I finally found a balance, but it got to a point where I think the environment, I think we're going to touch this base on this a bit later, but the environment around it got so toxic that I started mixing my real life with my role play character. And that's where it started affecting my mental health worse than it was when I first started it. So I took a break from it. I came back. I tried a different server and I went in with a different mentality where, yeah, I just spend, I still spend a good amount of like 5, 6, 7 hours on there, mainly streaming. But essentially, I was able to detach myself and sort of, be able to separate my real life from it and be able to actually process the emotions I should have through that time. So yeah, it's got both ends of it. If you use it like I guess properly with role play, it's a fun time. But if like you fully use it to get away from stuff, then it can eventually consume you a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's also one of those things too, is like, don't take the RP personally. Like I know some people might play their characters as themselves, which is absolutely fine. I think sometimes that can get a little cloudy with certain things, especially like for me, I have done like relationship RP. Part of that is to one, protect my character. Thank you to Chin, a good friend of mine who looks out for me in like the server, because I deal with a lot of like sexual harassment and stream sniping and things like that. But sometimes you have to really work on keeping things personally. And that's why I also play a character. So that way it really, for me, sets that boundary, because it's kind of like this conversation is we need to set boundaries with ourselves and our characters and even the friends that we make, because a lot of people sometimes will take things personally and things like that. But it's finding the balance, and it's all of a learning thing. And I'm really thankful for you sharing that with me. If I keep wanting to call you Tash.
It's okay, I can go with
I'm so
that.
used to it. Because it's so important. And yeah, did anyone else want to add anything to this before we move on to the next thing?
I'll add something real quick, a different
Yeah.
perspective of just RP just being a great thing. Like I remember in late August I had a surgery on my spine. I couldn't stream, I couldn't really do much. I had a big neck brace, but what I could do is I could log into my RP character and hang out with my friends. And that was, even though I was just being my character, it was still just a way for me to be social still. It was a way for me to talk to people. And it was just it was great. Yeah.
Thank you for opening Bahama Mamas when you had your back broken. I appreciate that.
I love
Miss
My
that.
character
Vanilla
had a
Unicorn.
cane, and I was still RPing that I had a surgery with my character. It's so funny.
I love that. Yeah, it's a good thing, and like you had that, to help you in a time that you couldn't work, and it gave you something to laugh at, because it's so fun to do RP and it's so creative.
Mhm.
Because like with like Sapphire's theater background, I imagine she's having so much fun with just the creativity that you can do, because in theater you can do a lot, but it's kind of like a structured thing a lot of times. Like you have improv and things like that, but this you could just take the complete freedom control, and I think that's so beautiful. Okay, sorry. People are trolling my chat. Or not my chat. Sorry, the String Queen chat.
Oh no.
Anyway, fucking Tallis is he's so silly in RP. Anyway. Anyway, Chinyan top besties. So talking about a little bit of the good and a little bit of the bad was kind of trying to segue, but I am stumbling on my words. Let's talk about like the difficulties of being queer or just being kind of in the GTRP community. Since my server is not whitelisted, it is not, as I would say, heavily moderated as some, I would say. And for me, mine's a very populated server with almost 400 people being on there. I know a lot of people try so hard to protect me and other people, so this isn't discrediting them. This is just simply saying my experience and kind of just being open about that, because it is a big struggle, and I'm sure some people can relate to that if they've been on open servers. I have been stream sniped, I have been called names, I've had people come into my chat and just say some really, really awful things that had almost made me just completely quit. Because it was hard. It was difficult, because I do this for a good chunk of my income. Like at least 15% of my income is from streaming and RP. Um, and I love it. It's something that is just so fun to me and things like that. But sometimes it is really freaking difficult. I've gotten sexually I recently I had been fat shamed, called ugly, but then also sexually harassed all in like the same day. And I was just like, I have like had videos kind of blow up on TikTok. I've been on Twitch for almost 4 years, and the hate that I've received from doing RP has never been like it is worse than what I've seen on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. I'm a woman on the internet, and the shit that I've seen in my chat and have heard like from RP is just wild to me. And it is disgusting. So I'm really thankful to people that have looked out for me, and you know who you are. And I've seen some of them in my chat. I have some real good people that have just had my back and things like that. But sometimes they're just not around or they can't get to me in time. So they do take care of them, but sometimes it's not quick enough and it's not enough sometimes, unfortunately. So I'm sure some of you can touch base on this. Did anyone want to go first about it?
I can so excuse me. I'm still a little sick. I mean, I've had a pretty good experience on GTA. I've been in very inclusive, diverse servers that protect our community, LGBTQI2S+. I started on Lux. It was very unfortunate. It ended up closing down because it was a DOS target. So we kept getting the shark tsunamis, and unfortunately, that led to the server's downfall, which really, really sucks being targeted just because you are an LGBT server. Then I joined Adonia because it was more of a stable server, and I would have to say that I mean I've never been sexually harassed. I don't think people talk shit about me, at least not to my face, maybe behind my face, because they were raised
I
with grace, hopefully. I don't know. Except for Trashy, she talks a lot of shit about me behind my back. She
Not
does.
about you, about Dora.
Dora la Torta or Sasha
And
Cunt.
it's not me, it's Vanilla and
It's
Susanna.
vanilla. Yeah, and Susanna. But Dora loves vanilla. But now some of the stuff that I do see within our community is it's kind of irritating. It's probably the Regina George syndrome where people are just, they go in there and they think they're just a botched abortion of Regina George. And I'm like, that's what you're aiming for? That is what you're going for on the server? Like for no reason, you're just being mean to everyone. And it's like so many of these people. And I'm just like, I'm embarrassed for you. That's embarrassing. That's, the type of environment you want to facilitate and how you want to build relationships with people. People don't want to be around you. You're not going to last on the server with that attitude. So I think that's kind of toxic. Also, we kind of touched base on this earlier in the conversation is main girl syndrome. It's like, it's okay to take, a back seat, especially if you're at someone's event, someone's opening their new, record, they're singing their album and we're celebrating, and you got someone in the front next to the singer screaming, doing this and that. It's like, this is not your moment, mama. Take a seat. It's okay to let someone else, live their fantasy or whatever it may be. But other than that, no, I really haven't experienced hate except for when I was on Lux because of the DDoSing. I don't think it was not targeted. Like it was, I mean, the server was targeted, but I wouldn't say,
But
oh, I'm
you
being
specifically were
targeted.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I was not. I've never
I'm glad
felt
you
that
were
way
not.
in the server. Yeah. I like to see the silver lining in things. Like I love the characters I've created across these servers, the relationships I've built with so many amazing, talented people, like with such rich characters. Um, and I think that's the good part. I spoke about the bad part, and the good part is just developing these relationships, meeting, people out of character through Twitch or other content creator, platforms. And I think that's always a lot of fun and really, being like, oh wow, that person plays that person. I would have never guessed in a million years.
I love that. I have met some incredible people, like my RP partner Chin. He's so fun. We're such good friends, like, and we Discord message each other all the time. He's from Australia, so we talk about all kinds of silly things with like food and stuff. And it's so good to like connect with friends. Like that's how I've met Tash. What's actually also weird is Leah Drea in the chat plays on Bluebird, and I did not know this. Like I've known Leah for so long, and she's been like playing Bluebird for so long. I was like, we how did that work? Like I've known you from this queer community, and now I'm like seeing you here. So it's just so fun to like get to experience that and connect with friends and stuff like that. Um, but I'm glad that you haven't had as much of a time, because I especially know like with you, Elix, in the past, you've experienced a lot of different things from being the icon, the legend that you are. So it's nice that you don't
Yeah.
have to deal with that as much. But
Yet
God,
surprisingly, I don't at all on GTA.
that must be
Surprisingly, I mean,
such a
within
relief, though.
character, it's okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah, like it's have a good time. I've had a really great experience.
That's
I get
awesome.
annoyed with some people, but Dora gets annoyed, not Elix. Like,
Absolutely. Yeah.
oh, I didn't touch base on one of the bad things is that some people can't differentiate, in character from out of character, and it's really, really sad when I see some, like, you have to have a lot of fucking time in your hands. Like, you gotta literally not love yourself to go to someone's stream and start talking shit about them. There are so many talented people in Adonia, especially this one person who is in PD and then was not in PD and now is in PD. And people get like on alt accounts, go to this person's stream and like they're shit talking. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, this is so pathetic for you to do that. Like it's
Each
just
that.
it's just so like I'm not like I feel bad for this person, but I'm mostly embarrassed for you for doing what you are doing. Like it's
It,
RP. It's
yes.
RP.
Yes. We have like a bigger streamer in like my server, and sometimes the people from their chat come in, and there's no hate to that streamer, but like people they come in, they're like, you just got like this. And I was like, bruh, it's RP. Like I at the end of the day, I don't really care. Anyway, it just is a
Yeah.
reflection on them, not on us,
I think
Yeah.
listening to what Elix said about people taking things like way too seriously. One thing about it, you spoke about the Regina Georges, you spoke about the Mean Girls. I am that person that will come in and knock everybody down off whatever pedestal that they think they own, because the girls in the service think that they know how to read, and then they run across me, and then they sitting there looking at me like, girl,
They
what?
turn blue, bitches die around you.
But I have received so many DMs saying what you said to me was unacceptable. I was like, baby, I was reading your character. We were going back and forth.
Yes.
But now that you get somebody you can't like, you don't have the vocabulary to stand to, then all of a sudden we got to go OOC. I don't dislike the people. I'm just like, oh, you give me a good, nice. I like to go fishing for the Regina Georges. I'm like, where they at? Give me
Where they
something
at?
fun to do. Give me content. But then they always
Same.
take it OOC, and then they're like, well, you were very mean. I'm like, I was mean to the character, but you're mean to everybody. So
This is
yeah,
the
no, I get that.
fantasy.
I
You
Mm-hmm.
can
would
It's a
love
dish it out, but you
to
can't take
movie.
it.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
love
and
to
that's
add
one of
on
my
to
biggest
that.
pet peeves. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Trashley.
No, you can go. It's fine. I just wanted
And I
to.
was.
Oh, I'll go.
Yes,
I
yes,
just wanted to add
Ashley,
on to
please.
that. Like some people also think that they're reading, but it's not. It becomes very not reading. It becomes not. It becomes transphobic. It becomes homophobic, and it's not funny. Like I started in the straight servers, and so I know where I know where I came from. But like even in Adonia, which is a very great LGBTQ protective server, like I still get I've been made fun of because of my voice. Like someone's like, "Oh, you think you're gonna talk to me with that man voice?" And it's just like that's not RP. Like I'm a woman in this game
Mm-mm.
right now. Like you don't
I
do that.
hate when they say that shit.
And so like people think they're reading, they think they're funny, and it's not. It's not RP. What you're doing is being transphobic.
Yeah, say
Yeah.
it how it
And I'm
is,
not even
exactly
trans,
that.
but you're still being transphobic.
No, that's being transphobic. That's just yeah, because
Yeah.
we've seen that a lot.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
What
Oh, go ahead, Elix. Go ahead.
I just want to say that my biggest pet peeve is when going back to what SB was saying, like I cannot like I really get into character when I'm playing. Like I got lost in my character, especially when I'm on Sasha Khan or Pippa Gillespie. And then someone's like, oh, can you OOC? Can you OOC? I sent you DMs. Can you OOC? And I'm like, no, that completely just ruined the mood. Like now I don't want to RP. You
Ruins the
just pulled me out of
immersion.
my fantasy. Yeah, it
Yeah.
completely ruins the immersion. And then, piggybacking off what Trashy said in regards to, there's so much transphobia. Like something that I've seen in Lux, that I saw in Lux, and I still continue to see in Adonia, that I find extremely transphobic, is when, for those of you who are not familiar with GTA RP and the way the servers load, not all of them are very, very quick. So if you go to a very highly populated place, everybody has like their default character, which is male presenting. And so when people's faces aren't loading because you're in a very populated area, because for example there's a grand opening to a club, people start going around, oh, you have a man face, you have a man face. Can you say default face? That is so fucking transphobic. Like, I'm offended. Like, don't
I
tell
think we
Dora,
call
don't
it
tell
Danny
Pippa, don't tell
face or
Sasha.
Andy
We do.
face.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
say Danny
Yeah.
face. But Danny, I
Yeah,
feel
Yeah.
like
that
is
people use
trying to
Danny face too.
yeah.
But so many people use like man face, and I'm like, no. But yeah, that was it. Go ahead, SB.
I think for me, just speaking, because we know I spend a lot of time. So I like to find a balance. I like to have my servers with my queer people, but I also spend a majority of my time with my Black people. I thrive in spaces where Black people are prominent. And I actually was a part of a survey. It was one of my very first ones. I got very lucky. The owner came to me on the first day and was like, we don't really have too many queer people here. And I'm so glad you're here. If anybody gives you trouble, we got you. And for months, there would be people that came in, they give me trouble. I just hear, I'd be like, girl, we having trouble. And literally in the blink of an eye, they'd be gone. And it was great. And I'm like, this is amazing. This is wonderful. And I felt like I belonged. So I spent so much time there. I streamed it all the time. I spoke highly about it. I ended up inviting literally like 30 different queer people. I built a queer population in this very straight server. And then one time, a very transphobic remark was thrown my way. I did the typical report. Turns out it was the owner's husband. And the owner's husband called me
Yikes.
this, right, called me this very screwed up saying, which I'm not going to repeat, but if you were there, I was also streaming at this point. And then at that point, whenever I dropped it, I'm like, look, this just happened. I didn't know it was her husband. At this point, I get pulled to the side. I was told you need to tone it down. You're a little too vibrant, da 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 da, this and that. The entire thing swapped around and it actually turned into like a server meeting where I honestly, y'all, I cursed them people out for literally 3 hours and I still wanted to curse them out even more after that. Of trying to find a solution. And at the end of the day, a solution wasn't made. I actually got banned from the server for server disrespect for saying that server didn't allow queer people to exist peacefully after this whole debacle. But it's just so hard for me as a Black person and as a queer person to find a balance because the queer places tend to be very white centered and the Black places tend to be very anti queer centered. So that's why I travel a lot. That's why I said I don't have a home. That was my home, but then I dipped out of there. Now I just I pop around. What am I in the mood for today? Oh, I want to go to Adonia with the girls. I'll go to Adonia with the girls. Do I want to go somewhere else with my Black people? I'll go here with my Black people. But it's literally just about like taking a scoop of whatever I want at that moment and just experiencing that.
Yeah. I'm sorry you
Very
can't
good.
find like that home, but I really appreciate you touching base on that. And
Oh,
I'm
yes,
sorry that
absolutely.
you experienced that. It sucks. It sucks. Speaking on things, Fire, so I know you have
I have a
some
lot
some
to
things.
say.
I
Where's
know
my
we're a
can of
little
worms?
shorter
Where have
on
I put
time,
this?
so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all right. No, I'll try and keep it short. Look, I have probably experienced it both, like from the closed whitelisted server, and I have to say the current server that I'm on, they're very massive on the LGBTQI plus community. Like they're huge on it. The event they had for it, they set up a concert and everything for it. They're very accepting over this, probably the most accepting I've ever seen. So I pretty much found my home there. But essentially, I've had it all from both servers. My original server, which was open server, and then this one that is closed server. I've had it all. I've received unsolicited dick pic from children on the original server, which is 14 plus. I think a 15-year-old sent me a dick pic. I've had obviously harassment. I've been catfished. I've pretty much had it all, and I could say that I'm probably lucky that I've had friends that were staff on both servers essentially, but I can like distinguish between the two essentially with the open server and the age difference. It's open, so there's a lot of people that they come in without being, originally that having no whitelisted barrier there with the experience, even especially with the LGBT community or anything like that. They will come in, and you have like staff essentially being potentially burnt out from trying to control everyone, so people slip out. So, things like, receiving a dick pic from a child, like essentially like 15-year-old, it's like it slips through. And then like what's it called? You have the other side, like in the whitelisted server, I've been catfish and I had this guy just send me a dick pic without, like, I was streaming midstream. Essentially, they just send me a DM of it. And the rate that things have been dealt with in a closed community where these things were accepted were quite different to an open server with a younger age group. Essentially, I think there's both ends of it. In terms of like getting stream sniped and stuff, I don't believe I get stream sniped anymore. So I guess that aspect of it is much more controlled. One of the servers essentially controls the OOC aspect. They're banned. I think that's why I joined the second server that I literally accepted as my home now, is that they ban any OOC toxicity. So if you can't keep it in character, good luck. This is not your home. Out. Like, you're out. If you can't respect people, you're out. Like, they're very massive on that. Whereas like a lot of servers, like I've had 2 main servers, but I've experienced a lot of different open servers and stuff like that. And I would probably say, you know, you get it in both. It's just the level of how moderated it is and how accepted things are a bit different. But I guess, yeah, it comes down to essentially the staff and the top people in their community where they control how they want to, you know, um, provide that sort of culture for the server, essentially.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I've had it all in there. My servers from fucking young to old.
That's wild. Thank you for sharing. We're running out of time. Sapphire, did you have anything quickly to add before we kind of close out with our last plugins?
I mean, I could talk for hours about GTA roleplay. I guess
I'm saying.
quickly,
Yeah.
quickly, I just like to say my sparring matches between Oceana and SB's character, whichever one I interacted with, the sparring matches were amazing. I loved them so much. Why you look shocked?
Girl, did I know that was you? I think this is a moment where I'm just like, I argue with so many people. I don't be remembering names. I'm just like, girl, it's time to give a read.
She's like, it meant something to me. It meant something.
I liked how I didn't even know who you were, and then like, and I started to get annoyed. Like, I was like, why the fuck? Why is this person coming at me like this? Like, what the fuck? And then I learned it was you, and I was like, oh, okay.
We're fine.
We're taking the piss. We're taking the piss.
I love that. Yeah, I've had that happen with my character. Everyone's like, why is she so aggressive? And they're like, oh, got it now. Anyway.
Yeah.
I just want to say, go ahead.
Unmatched sparring matches that you
I love
apparently
that.
don't remember.
It meant something to Sapphire.
Yeah, it meant a lot to me.
Sapphire's gonna cry about it tonight. Anyway, thank you all so much for coming. We're gonna do our last. Thank you for coming. Anyway, sorry for being here, and thank you for sharing everything. We could literally probably spend 5 hours talking about our experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly. Unfortunately, we had such a limited time. I just wanted to say thank you all for sharing everything. And then let's do our last bit. Where can we find you all? Maybe like a quick tip that you can say to like getting into RP, or just like a quick thing that you wanted to add, or something that you like about RP, just really quickly. Elix, I'll have you go first.
I'm Elix. You can find me on Twitch as Elix. Anywhere else, Elix TTV. That's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Any tip for any people that want to get into GTA RP? Know your character. Read the rules in the Discord. I went in there blindly and I would get in trouble left and right in my first server because I would do really stupid shit because I didn't read the rules. So read your rules. Try to get some thick skin because if you're someone who takes stuff personally, it's just not gonna fly. Again, RP is RP and it stays in RP. And have fun. Have fun, meet people, create relationships, develop your character.
Absolutely. Trashley?
I am Drag Trashly everywhere. You can find me Twitch, Twitter, if it's still up, Instagram, anywhere it's Drag Trashly. I honestly GTA RP, I feel like my tip is if you're queer, join a queer server. You don't want to experience the real world, but as GTA, it's the same. You have to come out to everyone. People make fun of you. It sucks. Do a queer server. Adonia is great. It's great for beginners. I'm sure there's lots of other queer servers that are great for beginners as well. I mean, I'm still a beginner. I was just banned for running someone over twice, and
Don't
so
run people over.
I don't run people over. That's my tip. That's probably banned in most servers, which makes sense, but I didn't know.
It's okay. I've done some sketchy things as Inya, like drive someone into a gas station when I shouldn't have. So anyway, so glad I still have my white visa. Anyway, little Firestone.
You can probably find me as Little Firestone everywhere as well. Essentially, just Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok is probably the main things. And probably the tips, yeah, definitely read the rules. I think that's the biggest thing. Even when I first joined roleplay, I kind of didn't read the rules, and I was very lucky not to be seen. Especially, I was like streaming to do certain things that I shouldn't have done. But yeah, just definitely read the rules before you join a server. It probably betters your time. Try and even if you play character, okay, like I'll say like everyone calls me Tash and my character's name is essentially Tash, but try and have that gap between you and your character. Essentially, your personality sort of pours into your character parts of it anyway, but biggest thing you can do is just separate that life from your real life. And if anyone makes a comment to you in roleplay that is not accepted, like don't get worked up on it. It's just leave it as it is. It's their character, it's their arc, like essentially leave it. I think it's when people essentially break character, just say certain comments that are related to like OSC. I know some people docs and stuff like that, so that's where it starts, working people up. But hopefully, if you read the rules and not get into trouble, it's usually that like you get attention of the staff a bit better in any server, essentially.
Thank you. SB.
Hi, besties. I am SB Simone, the outspoken, unapologetically black and trans streamer here on Twitch. Y'all can find me literally everywhere at SB Simone. Don't get it confused. I am not cornbread, no matter how much y'all try to tell me I am. If I give a piece of advice to anybody joining GTA RP, do not join RP and become part of PD. Who the hell wants to go online in RP as a police officer? Nobody won't do
Period.
that. I'm sorry. So many people come in and they take their PD job so seriously, and I'd be annoyed. Be different. Be like Desiree. Desiree is a real estate agent during the day and a stripper at night. And if you give her the right amount of money when she's selling you a house, she might dance for you before she leaves. Mix it up. Be different. Be free. No PD.
So I'm trying to keep it together in the chat. We have some people that are like mods and admins in Bluebird in this chat right now, and I said that I drove myself and other people into a gas station. I was during a hostile situation, so it's real bad. This was before I got my white visa. So anyway, sorry about this was like a long time ago. We're not talking about it anymore, okay? It is done. I am not gonna read it in the chat anymore, all right? Sapphire.
Yeah, my name is Sapphire E Glamour. You can find me at all the socials and other places at Sapphire E Glamour. That's SAFIREEGLAMOUR. I'm a plus size Polynesian drag queen, and on Twitch, I pretty much exclusively play GTA roleplay now. So there you go. I will say this isn't my tip, but as someone who is recently doing criminal RP, please play PD. We need you on. We need you on to do our criminal shit.
Don't take the shit too serious though, because that is an issue with like the cops. Have some fun.
Yeah, have
Don't
some
be
fun.
all like.
Anyways,
Don't be a W cop. Sorry. Anyway,
let's back to me.
yes, back to Sapphire. I'm sorry.
So I guess my tip is if you're thinking about, hey, maybe I want to play GTA roleplay, but I don't want to like go this deep into character creation as Sapphire E Glamour or have like 16 characters that you play. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want in character creation. You can start with a name, and this is like an adjective about them, like smart, and just go off of that. And then the backstory you can create as you go along. You can go as deep again, or as shallow as you want. And I don't ignore that. And yeah, you'll never create as many characters as I have. You will never. Do what you want. Anyway, that's all.
Have you ever
Yes,
played a
absolutely.
character
Thank you.
called Foxy Wethole?
Please.
What?
What'd you say?
Never mind.
No, what did you say? I
No,
really
please.
want to know, Miss
Yeah,
Have you ever
Tash.
played a
please.
character called Foxy Wethole? Is what I was asking. Always wondered who she was.
Oh, you're wondering if I played that character?
She
Find out
came
in
in my
RP.
life.
Find out in
Changed it.
RP.
Not that.
You
Oh,
don't
Find
know.
out on RP.
also, I need to add before we close. I am the #1 trasher. Use hashtag Trashers Unite on Twitter so we can
Okay.
find you. I run the Trashly Stan Club. I am the Trashly Stan #1. Thank you.
That is
Oh my
incorrect. I
goodness.
am Trashly's #1 stan.
Harv.
Hashtag Trashers Unite.
Hashtag trash. Love trash. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I'm in for prayers. My tip for RP is to get into it. I didn't get into it for a long time, and I say this about just drag and just other things in general. I kind of wish I started beforehand. I just try it, just have fun. Don't be scared. Be creative. Be bold. One of the things I've gotten praise for is being a bold character that I have been, and of course, be respectful, be kind, and shit like that. But like, be bold, be different. Try something new. It's very fun. You can find me at In for Prayers at anywhere. I stream only GTRP right now. I used to be a variety content creator, but I just love RP so much. And I only stream 2 hours a day of RP. Just kidding. I actually stream like 10 to fucking ungod hours sometimes. I put in like 200 hours in streaming. Anyway, I will be live in a little bit with some RP. So if you want to come check it out or have any more questions for us or me, you can check all of them out as well. But I will be on later and you can ask me some more questions if you want to know about getting into RP or some things that we couldn't touch base on. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming. Thank you, the panelists, and thank you everyone in the chat for coming to Stream Queen Con 3 and coming to this panel. Just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you for the mods from everywhere, keeping the chat safe, keeping all of us happy and things like that. Thank you, Dola, for doing all the work. I also wanted to give a nice shout out to the developer in Bluebird who has created some of my favorite RP called No Variable. He is incredible, and he has created some of my most favorite RP that I've experienced, which is a humane story, but you can find that out in RP in my server, okay? Anyway, that is all I have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you.